Welcome to the TTT News Special. I'm DK Roster. We are sipping the tea and talking the things with HRMATT, the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago. We are joined by the Vice President, Keisha Deokiesingh, Treasurer Antonia Ferrier, and the Public Relations Officer, Akeem Brandford. So we say thank you to you three for joining us, but naturally we want to start with Madam VP, and we want to ask, who does HRMATT represent?
Hi DK, thanks for having us today. So HRMATT is not a new association. HRMATT has been around for the last 31 years, and we consider ourselves as the leading voice of the human resource professional in Trinidad and Tobago. So we continue to champion the HR discipline in Trinidad and Tobago and maintaining high standards for the profession. So really, the pandemic has really changed the way the association is required to push forward. Hence, we've strategized and we've looked for new focus and new direction. So we're no longer the voice of HR in Trinidad and Tobago, but we want to be the voice and the preferred HR partner for the profession in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as in the Caribbean.
And
so go ahead, sorry.
And I'm looking at your background, and I'm seeing signs saying, apart from just your logo, vaccinate if you can. So, and that leads me to ask the question about what is HRMATT's specific position on COVID-19 vaccination?
So we said vaccinate if you can. Of course, we want to bring about this awareness. We want to have the conversation that is needed right now in terms of the different perspectives that we have to take on board. So our mandate and our mission is vaccinate if you can, similar to our various business associates and our counterparts in the countries.
All right, thank you so much. And naturally, I want to go to the Public Relations Officer now to ask about what kind of outreach engagement is happening in terms of HRMATT bringing awareness to this topic.
Thank you for that question, DK, and thanks again for having HRMATT with you today. As stated before, my name is Akeem Brandford. I'm the PRO of HRMATT, and I'm very pleased to announce that we are having our first tea with HRMATT this Thursday afternoon at 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. via Zoom. You can get us on LinkedIn and at our Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago page. And the title for our event this time would be COVID vaccination, mandatory or not? So we have a really great panel for this event, and this event will be moderated by none other than Ms. Akakur. She's an HR professional for a very long time, well over 20 years, and she has been with us on several different projects, and we're glad to have her moderating this event. So the panel will consist of Dave Smith. He is a full-time trade unionist, so he'll be able to bring the trade union perspective. We have none other than Ms. Jane White. Ms. Jane White is the first female CEO of the Business Supply Group. And Jane as well has done a lot of affiliations with HRMATT for a long time, so we're glad to have her back. Nicolette Johnson, our former VP, who's an HR professional of over 25 years, will be joining the panel. And last but not least, Mr. Courtney McNish. He will be heading the panel. He's an HR and IR professional in the consulting space for well over 20 years. So we're hoping to have a very fruitful discussion on this. And last, Vicky, I just want to share with you a couple of questions that will be highlighted in this session. So we're going to make sure that we're able to maximize on what people need to know. So first off, can employers deny employment if you've not taken the COVID vaccine? Can immunization be a condition of employment for new hires? And further, what is required for vaccination to become mandatory? That's just a few, but we were able to get feedback of well over 40 questions that we're gonna highlight in this event. So we're really, really looking forward to it.
Now, there are two things that I want to juxtapose in the sense that your moderator is Aka Ali Kerr, and she speaks of leadership through the lens of care, where we were lucky to be able to speak with her very recently. But I want to look at that lens of care and think about perspectives and ask Akeem, how important was it that you were able to get so many perspectives to the panel in terms of unions, HR, CEO, IR, and saying that, okay, there's this nexus point that all these perspectives can come together and thrash out something and hopefully move forward with a common, or if not a common goal, a place of understanding?
Well, it's certainly a common goal, DK, and thank you again for giving me an opportunity to talk about this. Aka really, Miss Ali Kursori, has definitely spoken about leading with care, and HRMATT has a similar notion. We have a hashtag, HRMATT Cares, that we use that was developed by our education officer, Ms. Danica Williams. I take no credit for it. I'm just championing it going forward. And we do have a lot of initiatives where we're trying to look at what is happening in the local landscape and have a firm and solid response. So the team that was chosen for the panel, of course, I take no credit for it solely. My team has really come forward with this. So the president, Ms. Simone Bowen, who's not able to be with us today, but she definitely has put a lot of input into this, our VP as well, our treasurer, the entire team came together and decided on all of these people who would be able to bring great perspectives to this panel. So we're looking forward to the balance of it. And furthermore, we have well over 250 people registered for this event. So I'm sure you can imagine what type of energy is expected. And we really, really, really want to put HRMATT at the front of this in terms of the positioning on COVID-19 and how that relates to the HR profession. So we're really looking forward to this, DK. Very excited.
And one of the things we want to do just before we take the break is say, Antonia, we have not forgotten you. We're coming back and we're going to ramage with you for some time. Also reminding you that for more information, you can check out HRMATT at www.hrmatt.com. That's HRMATT.com. Stay with us. We'll return with more. Welcome back. We are speaking with members of the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago, Keisha Deokiesingh, the Vice President, Antonia Ferrier, Treasurer, and Akeem Brandford, the Public Relations Officer. Now, Antonia, we said that we're going to include you into the conversation. Thank you for your patience. Now, I can see a conversation like Tea with HRMATT raising a can of worms and not necessarily having as much time to continue the conversation, but definitely sparking interest, having questions, and carrying the conversation forward. What kind of resources, or if someone needs support, an individual or a company, this is both before or after Tea with HRMATT, how can they reach out to HRMATT to avail themselves of some of those resources? And what would some of those resources be?
Thanks, DK. I'm so excited to have this platform here to launch just that idea of support for people who have questions. HRMATT in the past would have had HR advisory board. And as Keisha mentioned, one of the things when we looked at our strategy and how to go forward, how to elevate the voice and really utilize the voice, was to tap into the 30 plus years of experience and knowledge we have inside of HRMATT. And we have relaunched our HRMATT advisory service. And so we figured that if you even listen to the questions that Akeem raised that came from persons interested in coming, people are not sure. We went with vaccinate if you can, because of that balance that people have to walk. There's a constitutional issue about mandating vaccines versus the employer's right to and responsibility to ensure that there is a safe workplace, risks to be managed. And so where does the organization fall? What stance can you take about ensuring people are vaccinated, ensuring the place is safe? And so everybody would have to take a different stance on that, depending on the risk that of exposure. And being mindful that the employees do still have rights. And in those situations where you're looking at the balance of things between the employer's rights, the employees' rights, and public welfare, this is where HR really becomes critical, because we are the ones to help you find that balance, to find that midpoint that strikes that tone. And so if you look at our stance on this, which is vaccinate if you can, we recognize that yes, there is a public requirement of greater good. Yes, there's a responsibility to others, but there are some people who can't, for religious reasons, for physical reasons. It's unsafe for them to take the vaccine. And does that mean that this person doesn't have the right to work? Does it mean that they have to exit the building? Can the employer force you to go? These are questions that have to be carefully examined and explored case by case. There can't be a broad brush approach. And so our advisory service will be available. Persons can write into us, contact the secretariat with their questions, and whether you just need, as an HR professional, to get some clarification on what are the rules that apply, or you need deeper help, perhaps looking at your policy, looking at your practices, your procedures, how to roll out your whatever decision you take in your organization, the IR issues that you have to manage. We would have persons within HRMATT with the necessary capabilities to help you answer those questions in a thoughtful and considerate manner. Beyond that, we intend to use this tea and talk with HRMATT on COVID vaccination to develop evolving a list of frequently asked questions, which will be available on our website and which would be there for you to download. Depending on where we see the support is, we may even develop some draft policies, procedures, just to help people figure out where they can go and how best to implement the decisions they take around COVID vaccination in their workplace.
All right, now we have about 2.5 minutes more, but there are about 3 questions that I want to ask. So let me just ask them as quickly as possible, and then whoever answers. One, Antonia, I love the fact that you speak about tone, because sometimes it's not so much what is said, it's how it's said. There's a different energy that goes with it. And with that in mind, though, does HRMATT engage anyone who is not an HR professional? Because I can see spaces where people may not know where to turn, and they're seeing someone, okay, well, HRMATT is talking about human resources here. I wonder if they'll give me an answer if I contact them. 2, Akeem, you spoke about a number of people already registered for the Tea and Talk. Is that space filled? If not, how do people contact and how do people become a part of it? So let me leave those 2 and let me see what answers we get from it. Thank you.
So I'll jump in on the first question quickly. HR is for everyone. You don't have to be an HR professional. Once you are a leader, once you are working with others, you do need to employ the strategies and thoughts around how do we manage people and relationships. And so everybody needs to know and understand HRMATT. So HR. And so anybody who has any question around this related to people and interacting with people, that's what we're here for. So feel free to reach out. Akeem?
Yes, and I'll take the second part as it relates to the event. What you can do is go to our LinkedIn page. The page is called Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago. The page is run by me, so you'll be interacting with me directly, right? And I can send you the link to be added to the Zoom call. No, it's not filled, but if that does happen, we do have contingency measures that we will put in place behind the scenes to make sure everyone is able to at least view the event. So yeah, come to our LinkedIn page. Our Facebook page has information also, Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago on Facebook and LinkedIn.
All right, thank you so much, Madam VP. The final 30 seconds are yours.
I would just like to add, as Antonia said, HR is for all. So our membership are not only HR professionals, we are open to non-HR professionals as well. So we have different categories of membership as well. So, I mean, we are open to everyone, we engage with everyone, we partner with everyone based on our strategic vision and our values of the association. And we take a lot of pride in terms of partnerships because we believe that that is the way forward. And in this new environment that we are presently facing, partnerships and not competition is the way forward.
And with that in mind, I want to do like Oliver Twist and ask for that. Hopefully we can have more installments of this conversation. But thank you so much, Antonia Ferrier, Ms. Deokiesingh, Keisha Deokiesingh, and Akeem Brandford, and we want to thank you for tuning in to the TTT News Special.